Hi, I'm Jin.
I'm Brandon.
And welcome to Brandon's Journey Part 2, all right? So this is his third lesson now? Third lesson, okay? So we're going to go over kind of what he learned today, okay? So because, like I said, the questions he has and the problems he's having is also going to be the same types of problems and questions that you guys are also going to have. So this is a great opportunity for you guys, okay? So the first thing we did was we practiced the first section of the form, okay? So Brent, let's first get into the stance, right? Okay, so Brandon, he did a great job going to the videos and memorizing the movements, okay? But copying the movements, okay, is not. What is the difference when you first did the form and then how I kind of corrected you? What did you learn from that experience?
Well, just going off the videos, what I was focusing on was always what I was doing on this end of the arm. So I was thinking about this.
The hand position,
the hand
movement.
I'm thinking about the hand all the time.
Right.
I set the structure and then I forget it, and I'm focusing purely on the hand.
Right.
So what you've shown me is to bring your focus back to your elbow.
Elbow. Right. Okay. So when Brandon first started doing the form, okay, do the futsal. Okay. Do it like you did the first time. Okay. Right. And you can even hold it sideways. See, you can see this better. Okay. See this? This is when I first saw Brandon doing the futsal, okay, and he's coming out. He's coming out to do the futsal. Okay, this is what I saw. Okay, I've got mail. Okay, so right. So what I saw was, okay, he's holding his hand up, and this is a very, very common mistake in the beginning stages of your training. Okay, so we got to correct this right away. Because I know a lot of you guys are doing the same thing. So if you look, you can see that he's holding his hand up. He's physically using muscle here. Okay, even if it's only a little bit to hold it up, I can see it. Okay, and if eventually that shoulder's going to give up. It's tense. Yeah, you can feel it. Right, I can see it. Okay, so what did I tell him to do? Okay. Take the hand, okay, and bring the elbow into center. Bringing the elbow into center, okay, is very important. Okay. Now, see this high angle? I can still tell he's holding his hand up because of where his futsal is in relation to his elbow in the center. It's higher. This already tells me he's carrying his hand. So what I did was I kept saying, okay, back up to focus here on your elbow. Focus. Keep the elbow in the center. Focus in on your. See how I'm doing this? This does two things. One is I'm forcing his elbow to the middle, and two is because I'm touching him there, he tends to want to focus there. Okay. When I do this, and I keep telling him, shut this off, shut this off, shut this off, shut this off. Just make the hand form. That's it. That's it. Okay. With as little muscle as possible. Okay. When he does this now, you see how his futsal even relax more. Relax more. Yeah. See now, look, you notice it's almost straight now in relation to his elbow. Okay? This tells me he's relaxed now. He's relaxed this part. Okay? If he's relaxed, okay, in other words, what's holding this up then? What's holding him up is the elbow in the center. That's what's holding this hand up. If he's completely relaxed and I push his elbow out even a little bit, you're gonna see that. See, the hand starts to drop. It falls. Okay, that's how lazy and relaxed this part is. Okay, so what holds it? What holds the arm? This elbow. See, it's like a leg on your table. Now it's holding up this hand. Okay, so you gotta practice like this. Okay. When you're practicing, especially like the futsal, right? This position, okay? You got it? So this was the first thing I noticed was he was focusing too much on the hand and not focusing on the elbow position and the elbow in relationship to the body, okay? Right? So practice that, okay? Because a lot of you guys are doing a great job. You're posting up your first form, and you're asking for a lot of feedback, and it's great, okay? But this is probably the one common thing, mistake I see everyone making, okay? And that is they're making the shape, they're using too much of this muscle to hold the hand up, okay? You can't do that, okay? You gotta shut it off, all right? So practice that. Okay, now the next thing is, okay, so now going back to the form, let's do this form, right? Okay? So now when you do this, right, you really understand that everything is focused here, and see he's much more relaxed now. This is key, okay? And you also now come up, and then he lifts and come up. Yeah, okay? So he's focusing here. See, the focus is not here in his hand. If the focus was here in his hand, you would see more extension, and you would see like a tension here. Right? This is not right anymore. If he relaxes, okay, and he backs up into his elbows, now you see it's much more relaxed. Okay, so you need to practice it and pull throughout your form. Really focus on that elbow. Okay. Now the second thing we worked on today was the punch. Okay, the punch. And this is really important. Okay, this goes back to several of the past videos. Putting it all together is not so easy to do. Okay, all right. So we broke it down for Brandon. Okay, and this is how I teach all my students. So the first thing I want him to do is the easiest way is to just get into a fighting stance. All right, so he's relaxed. Your hands can be up like a boxer. It doesn't matter. Just comfortable for you. Okay, it doesn't have to be all rigid. Okay, just comfortable. Right, and we're going to use the rear hand, like the cross, the rear hand. So what I had Brandon do is first, he's going to step. Okay, and he's going to extend the elbow a little bit past his body, one fist away from his body, about a fist and a half. And he gets to the 70-degree angle, roughly. Okay, now he also makes initial contact. This is medium range that I keep talking about, right? Now, his elbow again has to be in the middle. Okay, now, again, you cannot focus on the hand here. Brandon has to focus on the elbow. This is the hardest part to learn in the beginning. Okay, is not to push in the hand. It's to push from the elbow structure, which is connected to your body. So it's the body that's pushing it back. So now he's completely relaxed there. Now this becomes like a spring. Okay, so now, if I push my weight into his spring, it's going to back up the spring. It compresses the spring. Okay. Now, the thing Brandon doesn't want to do is push back with this part of the arm. See, now he's pushing back. Now, if he pushes that, if he engages his muscle, if my pressure coming in is greater than his pressure can go out, he goes backwards. That's no good, right? Okay. So that's not right. So how do you correct that? So what I told Brandon to do was keep that elbow in, focus on the elbow, completely relax this. Let the spring collapse. But when he collapses, the spring backs up into his elbow, and then what I want him to do is to engage his pelvic tilt so that he shovels. See that? He shovels under his elbow. Now he's underneath me. He's still relaxed here. Now, if I put pressure, he can take that pressure with that compressed spring. It's still relaxed, okay? But he feels my body, and he's going to put it into the ground. Because why? Because of this slight bend, he can put the pressure, put it in the center. He can push it into his rear leg now. So I can push, but he's not pushing back. What he's doing, he's holding my pressure into his leg. Yeah. So that. Now from here, now he can engage his body, but he made a mistake. One mistake is the elbow's out. Okay? So he's got to keep that elbow to the center. Okay? So now you can, keep the one fist away from your body, shovel method underneath. right? And yeah, now he's holding my body weight. Now the position is right. Okay, he shouldn't feel too much in his shoulder. Now what he's going to do, he's going to engage his hip, and he's going to start to push forward. See? Yeah, okay, and now he can hold my pressure, he can hold my punch, okay? So the first part of the punch is just step in and touch. Keep the elbow center. You have to be able to hold your opponent's body weight into the ground. And now with your muscle, okay? If he tries to use muscle, there's no way. He's not going to be able to hold me, okay? Got it? So he holds my. The other mistake Brandon also made before was that he was pushing back with his rear leg. He would feel the pressure, and then he would try to give it back to me with the leg. See that? Pushing back. I don't want him to do that. I want him to hold my power so that I always tell you the arm is, treat the arms like the leg. So this spring is also this spring, okay, is his calf. So when I push here, he has to collapse his spring. Also means he has to collapse his spring at the bottom. See, now he's holding me, okay? Now from here, now he can extend the hand through the hip into the body. Yeah! See? That was 100% right. I could feel his constant body pressure, and you don't see him going like, you don't see him leaning with that rear leg like this. Right? He's very stable, and he's just jacking me up because he's underneath me, right? So that was right. I could feel it. Okay. So when you're practicing, also make sure you're practicing treating the legs like the hands. Got it? Got it. Okay. What else did you pick up today?
The second part of the punch, the extension.
The extension, right?
Right.
Okay. I told Brandon, and I tell all my students, is that in Wing Chun we never retreat, but people take that literally. Okay, literally, like I just go straight. Okay, I go straight. That's not what we're talking about. Okay, right? So from here, okay, or like this, okay? If I punch and Brandon gives me pressure here, he stops me, okay? So now I'm here, but he feels, now see, I make an airtight seal because he's compressing my spring backed up into my elbow. I get underneath him, shovel, see? Now he feels my weight here. I'm not pushing, this is still relaxed, okay? But you notice my hip, I'm underneath him. Okay. Now, from here, if I move my body to get better angle on him or whatever, right? Or I change, or right here, right? I'm going to use this as a pivot. Okay. So if I start to move, he still feels this pressure. Never backs up. This pressure between us, I never back up. See that? Okay. If I switch hands, okay, he feels that same pressure. There's no gap between the exchange of this hand, right, this hand and this other hand. He still feels my body pressure. Okay. See that? I can move my body. I can even step backwards and then go in. But see this? This pressure here never backs out. Okay. I don't go like this and then I retreat. See, he wants to come in. As soon as I let go of him, even just for a little bit, he wants to come in. He wants to eat that space. I can't allow that. So that's what I'm talking about when I say in this art, the way I do it is we do not retreat. That means our energy doesn't retreat. Doesn't mean you can't retreat your footwork, okay, or retreat your or switch hands or anything like this, or change an angle. Of course not. But your energy cannot retreat. Okay. Your energy has to always go attack your opponent's center without pushing, okay, and engaging these muscles, right? So yeah, and then the other part was switch feet. He came in, set the nail, right? Go ahead, make finish. Set the nail, relax. That was the first thing he learned. Set the nail. The second part of the punch I told him was squeeze the egg, squeeze the egg. Squeeze the egg and extend the arm. As you're squeezing the egg, your arm extends. But your arm, what's extending your arm?
The elbow.
The elbow. And what's pushing the elbow? Your body structure. Your body structure. So your body's in charge. So your body pushes your elbow pushes the hand, and then that's when you squeeze the egg. But yeah, see, I eat all his pressure now. Got it? That's what you learn, right?
Right.
That's squeezing. It's not your hand is extending on its own. Okay? Your hand is trying to do the whole punch. Your hands cannot do anything unless the body structure tells it to do it. And it can only do it if this part is relaxed. If it's tense, it doesn't listen. It's not going to listen, right? It has to relax. That's the only way it can listen to what your body's telling you to do, and also to your opponent's energy, right? Okay. So, anything else that you want to add?
Nothing right now. No, it's been a great 3 days, and I've learned a lot from Jin.
Yeah, and you pick things up really fast, so it's always really good to see. And that just shows me how really committed he is to learning. He already knew the form, or the majority of the form when he came, right? It's just, like I said, watching the videos sometimes, it's difficult to pick these things up.
Right.
Even I show you in another video, okay? This is the concept, heavy elbow. Go back to your form, right? And then you practice it, and you still can't, it still doesn't make any sense to you. Or you think you're doing it right, but you're not doing it right. Okay? So that's how come Brandon being here for these couple days, okay, is I think a really good lesson, not only for him, but also for all you guys out there. Okay? So practice this stuff, and that way you really start to get the tutorial, and also you start to get more from the tutorial. Okay? So thank you very much, and Brandon and I will see you part 3, right?
Part 3.
Right. All right, take care.